Good morning. Glad you joined us here on this Thursday morning, September the 2nd, and hope you're having a good week this week. And we're looking at Joshua chapter 10, and we're seeing how harshly Joshua dealt with the enemies that he was facing. And sometimes we think that that's being a little bit harsh. But let me tell you something. If you don't deal harshly with the enemy in your life, which is Satan, and the sin that he entices you to, uh, you're not going to flourish in the Christian life like God intends for us to. And we saw that there are three things, or we're talking about those three things that we need in our Christian life that the Israelites had in their life as they followed Joshua into battle. The first one was we need an anchor point. We need a place where we can go back to during the battle and after the battle, literally, for the next battle to get ready. And for Joshua and the children of Israel, that was their base camp of Gilgal. And you remember we said it was a place of remembrance, resurrection, renunciation, restoration, realization, and revelation. And all of those are places for us that we find at the cross. And remember, we need an anchor point, and that anchor point is what Jesus did for us on the cross of Calvary and shedding his blood. And so the second thing we need to do is through the blood of Christ, we need to claim victory over sin. Now that was symbolic of what Joshua did with the 5 kings of the southern hill country when he defeated them and brought them out of the cave where they had been held captive. He literally proclaimed victory over them publicly by having his men, his generals, to step their foot on the necks of these kings. Now, see, these kings had never had anything but adoration. And now they're brought out, and as a symbolic gesture of victory, Israelite generals placed their feet on the neck as these kings bowed and placed their feet on the neck. Now that was the symbolic humiliation and proclamation of victory over them. Now you and I need to proclaim our victory at the cross. We need to proclaim our victory over sin. First of all, just like Israel, that they would know that they didn't do it, it was God. We know we don't do it, it's God. And that we may personally appropriate the victory that is ours at the cross of Calvary. Now, we've talked about that a little bit, and we've said that you're going to have to put your foot on the neck of whatever sin is warring in you, jealousy, pride, critical spirit, harsh tongue, whatever it happens to be. And then the third thing, after claiming victory over sin, here's what we need to do, and we don't always do this. We need to deal with the sin ruthlessly. You know, when I see that vision of Joshua digging those kings out of the cave, it reminds me of our soldiers who were pulling Saddam Hussein out of his little hidey hole underground, or of Osama bin Laden, or of any Al-Qaeda leaders in their caves in Pakistan or Afghanistan. And some people say, well, that's too harsh. Well, what do you do with terrorists who are out to kill you and me and to destroy our worship and to destroy our walk with the Lord? What do we do? What do you do with terrorists? You kill them. You don't negotiate with them. You don't adopt a treaty with them. They will break it. They always do. They always have. You kill them. Now somebody says, well, what would you do in Afghanistan? Well, this is just me, but I would basically make, when everyone's had an opportunity to get out any way that they can, running for the borders or whatever, and I realize that there are many who are wanting to get out now and can't get out. But my opinion was that if the Taliban are taken over, or if the other terrorist groups are taking over, ISIS or whoever it happens to be, is that when they are in control of the entire country, that we make it Lake Afghanistan, the largest inland lake in the world. But that's just me. And I guarantee you that that is closer to the Old Testament biblical principle of dealing with the enemy than anything we try to do today. You see, you don't negotiate with people who have sworn to kill you and your children and have proven it by attacking you on your own sovereign soil and killing more than 3,000 in cold blood. You don't negotiate with sin. And that's what Joshua was doing here. He was dealing ruthlessly with the sin. And folks, we have to deal ruthlessly with the sin that we find in our lives. Let me give you a little example of what God says about dealing with these people in Moses' day and passed on down to Joshua. Why should we be so harsh with them? Why should Joshua be so harsh with them? Why do we have to put to death the sin and the enemies in our life? Can't we just put them up on a closet and get rid of them and put them on a shelf just in case we ever want to backslide? I mean, can't we keep them? Do we have to deal with them ruthlessly? Yes, we do. And here's why. Oh my goodness, it's already late here on Thursday. Well, all right, just build your fortress against. If you're not going to kill them, just build your fortress and hold on till tomorrow. And we're going to come back here on Friday, and we're going to see what the Word says about dealing with the enemies in our lives. God bless you, and come back tomorrow, because this is a cliffhanger, but it's a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.